because we've been here so long, it's turned to winter. So today is a new day and a new tour. And where are we going?
New Forest.
Our mini tour of the New Forest takes us southwest through Oxfordshire, across the North Wessex Downs, to the beautiful town of Marlborough, to our first overnight stay in the delightful cathedral city of Salisbury. But first, a totally unique monument. The most architecturally sophisticated prehistoric stone circle in the world. Stonehenge.
Well folks, here we are. We had about a 3.5 hour ride to Salisbury and finally made it to Stonehenge.
Stonehenge really is an extraordinary structure. They believe it's over 3,000 years old and was constructed in 3 phases, and they estimate that the 3 phases of the construction required more than 30 million hours of labour. The outer ring consists of vertical stones, each one around 13 feet high and 7 feet wide, and weighing around 25 tons. When you see it up close, it raises far more questions than answers. How on earth did they manage to construct it? What was it for? There's no direct evidence about the construction techniques used, but the most common theory is that they created tracks of logs which the large stones were rolled along. Extraordinary when you consider that some of the stones were brought from nearly 200 miles away. But still, the big unanswered question is, why was it built? What was it for? Some people think that it was used to study the movements of the sun and moon. Other people think it was a place of healing. Others think it was a burial site. And so the mystery continues. Well, if you're interested in history, it's a fascinating place to see, well worth a visit. But now, let's head off to Salisbury, to our final destination.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead. I've been running in circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. I've been staring at the ceiling, I've been staying up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye. I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue. Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do?
Salisbury is most famous for its beautiful cathedral. It's regarded as a masterpiece of early Gothic style, and it dates back to 1220. It also holds probably the best preserved copy of the Magna Carta.
Trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. And I know there's so much more to this life, but it's hard to see it clearly. Yeah, I
So
tried.
there's the bikes tucked up nice and safely. Let's go and check out our hotel. And nice room actually. It's a bit dark, but it's a lovely big king size or super king size bed. Nice big TV, plenty of space. Bathroom with Milo steps, with a tub and shower. Plenty of storage space. And even, I don't know what this is, but it's a repository for your helmets. So, what do you think?
I mean, it's lovely, really spacious. It's Nice to see a tub and a big bed.
Yeah. People have been wondering how they got all those massive stones in Stonehenge and what technology they used, and now we know that close by here in Salisbury is an alien ship, so that they did come from outer space after all.
Salisbury Cathedral is one of Britain's finest medieval cathedrals and attracts over 250,000 tourists every year. The cathedral is regarded as one of the leading examples of early English Gothic architecture, and its main body was completed in 38 years from 1220 to 1258. It has the largest cloister and the largest cathedral close in Britain at 80 acres. It also holds the best surviving of the 4 original copies of Magna Carta. The spire, built in 1320 at 404 feet, has been the tallest church spire in the United Kingdom since 1561.
There here we are, folks, at Salisbury Cathedral. A beautiful, sunny, autumnal evening. And having done the culture thing, now we're going to head into town, find a decent place, because it must be beer o'clock now. It's beer o'clock time. We're so tired we can't walk that far. Oh look, there's a pub. Let's go there. Let's see if they got proper job on draft. Oh, this looks good. And how about this? Proper job on draft. That'll do me fine. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bottle and Malbec and the Bell and Crown burger.
Good burger.
So if you're staying in Salisbury, would we recommend the Mercure White Hart?
The White Hart is part of the Mercure Hotel Group, and it's perfectly located for Salisbury's pubs, shops, restaurants and of course the beautiful cathedral. Our room was a little dark as the small window looked out onto a roof area, but it was very spacious with a huge bed and a seating area which was perfect for storing some of our stuff. It also had a good ensuite. It had a tub, which was so welcome after 5 hours on the bikes. It also had a small step down to the bathroom, which I acquired a habit of falling down every time I entered the bathroom. We chose to eat at the local pub rather than the hotel restaurant, as Bride spotted some ales on draft at a hostelry just across the road. But we did have breakfast at the hotel, and there was quite an extensive buffet with the usual cooked and continental offerings. The cooked was pre-prepared and had been sitting in a warm buffet tray, so it could probably have been a little bit warmer. There was, of course, also a choice of tea, coffee and juices. The breakfast wasn't included in the cost of the room, and it was £12 per person. And we don't eat much at breakfast, so that was probably a little bit steep. But if you like a big brekkie, it's a great option. The reception and restaurant staff were friendly and helpful, and the parking, whilst adjoining a public car park, was next to the hotel's rear entrance and was pretty secure. A good place to stay, we reckon.
Well, good morning, folks. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here in Salisbury. A great night last night after a pretty long ride. Today is going to be another packed day, and our first stop is going to be Corfe Castle.
Corfe Castle is only about 1.5 hours ride south of Salisbury, and it's one of Britain's most iconic and evocative survivors of the English Civil War. Minster is a beautiful historic market town and has a history dating back to pre-Roman times. Corfe Castle's history dates back 1,000 years, and in its time it's been a Saxon stronghold, a Norman fortress and a royal palace.
Here we are, folks. Where are we?
We're at Corfe Castle.
Look at that.
castle was founded by William the Conqueror soon after the Norman conquest in 1066. It was one of the first stone castles built in England. Most early castles were built of wood and earth. Fought between 1642 and 1651, the English Civil War saw King Charles I battle Parliament for control of the English government. By 1643, most of Dorset was under parliamentarian control, while the castle were supporters of King Charles and the Royalists. By 1645, the castle was one of the few remaining strongholds in southern England that remained under royal control. Consequently, it was besieged by a force of parliamentarians. Sadly, one of the royalists was a traitor and secretly allowed some of the parliamentarian army into the castle, in disguise. Once inside, they waited for the attacking force to make a move. So the defenders were attacked from inside and outside the castle at the same time, and Corfe Castle was captured. Parliament then voted to demolish the castle so it couldn't be used in future, but the solidity of the walls meant that complete demolition was impossible, so it was left in the ruins we see today. Having had our historical fix for the day, we were heading to Milford-on-Sea and our accommodation for the night at the Lazy Line pub. First of all, we're going to visit the Millionaire's playground, that is Sandbanks, via the shortest ferry crossing we'd ever taken, and then we're going to swing by Sammy Miller's motorcycle museum.
Sadness I the same. If I close my eyes, maybe I'll feel you again. Hey, relight the flame. Draw it out with your hands, cover every inch of my pain. I've crossed to the other side. I turn my promises into lies. Glow until the morning light, falling in your arms tonight. Strange, but it feels so right, so right, so right. I know tonight will never last. I feel how it's fading fast. Two hearts from a clouded glass, never last, last, last. Hey, I don't know your name. Right now you're someone.
Sandbanks is known for attracting the rich and famous, I suppose thanks to its secluded location and harbour views. A waterside street made up of just 13 houses is now officially the most expensive stretch of coastal real estate in the world.
See you again. I've crossed to the other side. I turn my promises.
It's a contender for the most expensive location per square foot in the country. Former football manager Harry Redknapp used to live here. He recently sold his house that he bought for £400,000 for a whopping 10 million. Now that's what you call a good investment.
Tonight, strange, but it feels so right, so right, so right. Glow until the morning light, falling in your arms tonight. Strange, but it feels so right, so right, so right. I know tonight will never last. I feel how it's fading fast. Two hearts from a clouded glass, never last, last, last.
Sammy Miller's Motorcycle Museum. We thought we were driving past, so we might as well stop and have a look. And also, it was time for a break, time for a coffee. Let's go and take a look. Why not? I'm a senior.
You don't qualify.
You don't look like you're 70.
Well, thank goodness for that. All right.
Right, let me give you a pass each.
Lovely,
And
thank
then
you very
if you want to
much.
have a break, you can come and go as you please.
Lovely.
Tea, coffee, fresh air, anything like that. It's mandatory closed at 4:30 today. There's a little welcome pack. You've got just over 450 bikes to look at. Lots of memorabilia. So if you start your journey by heading up the stairs just behind us, all the vintage and classics are upstairs. Oldest one is 1898. A lot of Sammy's trophies are up there.
Nearly as old as you then, now.
Come down the stairs at the far end. You have 2 galleries at the front.
Thank you. It looks very uncomfortable to sit in The Great Escape. Classic Steve McQueen riding a Triumph. Where's your helmet, Steve? Jeremy Vine's bike. Penny for your thoughts.
The museum houses one of the finest collections of fully restored motorcycles in the world.
Sammy Miller MBE is a motorcycling legend, 11 times British champion and winner of over 1,400 events, and still demonstrating bikes 60 years since his first victory.
Want to swap your Triumph?
It was a fascinating place and really worth a visit.
Definitely recommended if you're in this part of the country, and with the added bonus of plenty of parking. But right now, we're off to our final destination of the Lazy Lion pub in Milford-on-Sea.